Hi, welcome to our Lego Bible story. I hope you have your Lego ready. Today's story comes from the Gospel of Matthew. And in this story, we hear it as the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. Jesus, we'll use our little Lego-sized Jesus today, had just gotten bad news that his cousin had been killed, his cousin John. And we know him as John the Baptist. And so he wanted to get away for a bit. And so he left where he was and he went across the water and he went away. But the crowds followed and he had compassion on them. He felt for them and he healed their sick and he stayed with them. But eventually his disciples said, "It's getting late and we don't have any food. I think it's time to send the people to the villages so they can get food." But Jesus said, "No, we don't have to do that. What do you have?" And they had 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. And Jesus blessed the bread and had them distribute it. And there was so much food that everybody had some. And there were 12 baskets of leftovers that were gathered. Now there were 5,000 men that were there, and women and children. So lots and lots of people. I wonder how Jesus felt when he got that bad news. I wonder if you ever want to get away by yourself when you get bad news, or if you're feeling in a bad mood. I wonder what it was like for Jesus when there were lots and lots and lots of people. And he didn't get to just stay by himself in the bad news. He had compassion on them, so he healed them. So that meant he was talking to all these people who were sick and who were tired. And he healed them and made them better. And his disciples, they sounded like they were looking out for everybody, didn't they? They were worried that people would be hungry and would need food since there were so many. In the Bible, sometimes, because of when it was written, we just hear about the men. So we heard that there were 5,000 men, but there were also women and children. So I wonder how many there really were. And I wonder what it was like to be one of the disciples when Jesus said, "Well, what do you have?" And there were 2 fish. Little ones, 3 fish. 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. These are giant loaves of bread because that's what I have. Can you imagine if you were the disciples and you looked at this crowd of thousands and thousands of people and Jesus said, "Well, there's 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. That'll be enough." I wonder if you would have believed him. I wonder what it was like for all of those people in the crowd to hear Jesus and to be healed by him and then to be fed by him. I wonder what they thought if they saw the little bit of food. And there was so much that there were 12 baskets of leftovers. Did you ever think you didn't have enough of something and it turned out you had way more than you needed? I wonder if any of the disciples believed that it would be enough food when Jesus said it would. I wonder what it was like to follow Jesus then, where he would say things that wouldn't seem like they were possible, and then they would come true. I wonder how all of that food got there. I wonder what it felt like to gather up the leftovers and have more than what you started with. I wonder what it felt like for all of those thousands of people to sit down and eat together. Because Jesus told them to sit down, and they did. I wonder if it was like a wave of people sitting, because you couldn't. How could you hear from that far away? I wonder if Jesus really was tired. I wonder if feeding all of those people and eating together gave him energy. I wonder what it felt like to be part of that feast. I wonder what part of the story you like best. And if you've ever had that much food. I wonder what the most important part of this story really is.